Hello, light people. This is the 5D Frequency Podcast. In this podcast, we talk about all things spirituality, self growth, and ascension. We make spirituality easy and practical. I'm your host, Italia, and in today's episode, we are going to talk about Earth's 3D versus 5D split. Will people disappear? To start this podcast, we are going to discuss what does 3D and 5D mean. 3D is the third dimensional level of consciousness. 5D is the fifth dimensional level of consciousness. These are two very different levels of consciousness. And level of consciousness vibrate in different frequencies. Our bodies are made out of energy, and energy vibrates in a certain frequency. The frequency we vibrate the most at tells a lot about our level of consciousness. So 3D, the third dimensional level of consciousness, vibrates in a lower frequency, while the 5D level of consciousness vibrate in a higher frequency. The perspectives and perceptions of life are very different in those two levels of consciousness. The 3D is a limited level of consciousness that can only perceive the polarities as separate. It is based on a duality consciousness, and it is filled with criticism and judgment. It is based on power over others and based on the ego. For example, we live in a world where the polarities are very easily seen. The political parties, for example, the right and the left parties, the good and the bad, the men and the women. And when we are in the third dimensional level of consciousness, we always see one against the other. There are out there many movies where there's a battle between good and bad. Good and evil, right? Where there is a lot of fighting and misunderstanding between men and women. But actually, when we start to vibrate higher, we start to understand that those polarities actually work together. The polarities are always complementary. We should never put one polarity against the other. They work together. Always. In the 5D level of consciousness, which is a higher level of consciousness and a higher level of frequency, we live based on unconditional love and unity consciousness instead of separation consciousness. It's a level of consciousness that is based on knowing that the other person is an extension of me. It's a level of consciousness where you feel that we are all one, that what you do to another person comes back to me and influences me as well. We understand that we are all cells in the body of God, that we are all drops in the ocean. We are all parts of one big whole. And in this level of consciousness, we understand that nothing is completely good or bad, for example. There's always good inside the bad, and there's always bad inside the good. The polarities are unified. They work together instead of separate. For example, when a child is learning to walk, it's a bad thing because it hurts when she or he falls. But it is a good thing because he or she is learning something new, a new skill. So there's always good and bad in everything, even in chaos. Chaos seems like a bad thing, but this is the way the universe uses to make things shift faster. The good and the bad are always intertwined. And both levels of consciousness are coexisting right now on the planet. There are people in the 3D level of consciousness and people in the 5D level of consciousness, and most people are in between these levels. are in the 4D level of consciousness, which is the bridge between those two levels. And why is it so important to understand about these levels of consciousness? Because Earth is evolving from this third dimensional level of consciousness into a fifth dimensional level of consciousness. And we need to follow up with Earth's evolution. Everything in the universe is always evolving, just like I said in the last episode. If you didn't listen to it, please go and listen because it's really interesting. Everything is always evolving. And Earth is also a being that has a consciousness and also evolves. And right now, we are moving from a third dimensional planet to a fifth dimensional planet. So we need to learn how to vibrate in the 5D level of consciousness. So right now in our planet, there are people vibrating lower and people vibrating higher. Many people believe that when we start vibrating higher and calibrate in the fifth dimensional level of consciousness, we will stop seeing other people from the 3D. This doesn't happen. What happens is that when we start vibrating in the fifth dimensional level of consciousness, we will still be able to see everyone else. We will still be able to see people who are vibrating in the third dimensional level of consciousness. What is going to happen is that the higher you vibrate, the more your personal outer reality will match that frequency. It may take a while because to manifest things in the material realm, from energy to matter, it takes some time. But this will eventually happen. When you start vibrating in the fifth dimensional level of consciousness, your reality will match that frequency. And this means that you will attract people who are closer to your level of consciousness, while others who are still choosing to vibrate in the third dimensional level of consciousness will be removed from your life. You will choose to remove them, or they will leave your life unwillingly, because they will no longer support being near you in your higher frequency. And this is a natural process, okay? So those souls who are not ready for the shift in consciousness, who are choosing to stay vibrating in the 3D level of consciousness, are going to be removed from this planet and will have other different experiences in other planets. They will leave the planet in many different ways. They will die naturally, or they will go through natural disasters. It is all agreed by their soul already. And this is not good or bad. This is just what their soul chose. They will still need more time experiencing those lower frequencies before they are ready to move forward to higher frequencies. This is totally normal and totally fine. We are not here to judge those people, but we are here to move forward in our own personal frequency. Because this split from the 3D Earth to the 5D Earth is already ongoing. And this is not two different worlds, like many people say, but there are two different collective timelines. For you to understand this process, I need to explain to you a little bit what a timeline is. A timeline is a reality, is what you are standing on, so to speak, energetically, and that you are vibrating at. It is the reality you are on. And there are also future timelines, which are the probabilities of future. For example, right now, all the possibilities, all the timelines that I can choose of buying many different types of cars exist. I can buy a white car, I can buy a black car, I can buy a red car. I can buy a car brand A, a car brand B, a car brand C. All of those possibilities are different timelines, are different future timelines. The timeline that is most probable is the one that I am focusing on. So this is what tarot reads. Tarot reads the most probable timeline. So that's why the timelines are changeable. So if you listen to a tarot reading that you don't like, it means that you have access to this knowledge that you are going towards that direction, that timeline, and you can actively choose differently right now. And the same way, when you watch a tarot reading, that is something that you feel deeply, that you resonate with, is a very good thing. It's because that's your most probable timeline right now. And when you claim that, you focus on that and you are aligning to that timeline. All the timelines already exist. The one that I align with is the one that I'm focusing on. I'm focusing my energy, my attention, my thoughts, my emotions, my actions. Whenever I change one of those things, whenever I change my actions, my emotions, my beliefs, I change the most probable future timeline. And there are personal timelines and collective timelines. So right now, in the collective timelines, we have two main collective timelines. The 3D collective timeline, where people who are vibrating at that frequency are connecting to, are aligning to, and the 5D collective timeline, where people who are coming to the 5D frequency or are already at the 5D frequency are aligning to. Right now, you can either be in one or the other. Most people are vibrating in the 4th D level of consciousness, but in the 4th D level of consciousness, you can vibrate more to the 3D level or more to the 5D level. This will be the determinant factor to which timeline you are on or going to be on. Some people believe that the split between those timelines will happen in one specific moment, which is what they call the solar flash. And some believe that this will happen gradually. I personally believe that both are possible. For me, the solar flash is a little bit too far-fetched, but it's possible. Anything is possible. Maybe the gradual split of timelines is the plan A for Earth's evolution cycle, and the solar flash, which is the moment of the split per se, is the plan B. So it is possible that both are going to happen, since the plan A is already happening. We are already gradually splitting those timelines. But don't worry about this, because neither you or me or anyone have control over this. We don't have control of how the split of the timelines is actually going to happen. And no one has the absolute 100% perfect answer. They have theories. And if we as humanity don't know exactly how it's going to happen, it's because we don't need to know. All we need to know is that we need to focus in which timeline we want to go towards. All we have control over is our own frequency. That's why it is extremely necessary that we learn to vibrate in the 5D frequency. We need to learn to calibrate ourselves and our bodies to the 5D frequency. And this is the main goal of my work. It is to teach you how to do that. Because it is time for this shift in consciousness in this planet. Because of the Ascension cycle. Because there are cycles in the world and in the universe, and right now we are going to go through this process on planet Earth. And those who are not deciding to ascend to the 5D level of consciousness are going to leave the planet in one way or another. So you are here listening to this podcast because you are here to be in the 5D timeline. And you are here to help others to come into this timeline as well. The more people who are vibrating in the 5D frequency, the more it will help other people also vibrate into this frequency. It's like a domino effect. So you are here to do this big shift in your own frequency to really help more and more people shift into this frequency and come into the fifth dimensional level of consciousness, into the fifth dimensional collective timeline. If you enjoyed this episode, please share with those who need to hear this as well. And remember that this podcast is on YouTube with subtitles in many different languages and also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'll see you in the next episode. Much love, light, and truth.